The high yield savings account for American Express is a good one. However, there's not all sunshine and rainbows, and there are a few details that you need to know to determine whether or not this high yield savings account is the best one for you. We are going to go over the main best features of this high yield savings account for American Express. And I want you to avoid one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people looking into high yield savings accounts make, which is thinking that the interest is the only thing to worry about. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is from the organization. It doesn't matter whether or not they have fees. If at the end of the day, if you don't feel comfortable with an organization and you don't have the warm and fuzzy feeling, then I personally suggest that you need to keep looking. If it's not a hell yes, then it's a no. All right, so with that being said, if you are someone that is skeptical about using online high-yield savings accounts, if you are still worrying, you're not saving, and you don't really trust any organizations out there, and you're a beginner in personal finance, and you're just finding out about high-yield savings accounts, I make a step-by-step blueprint that is going to help you save time, and it's going to help you start saving with confidence. It's going to help you start building trust with these organizations. And this is a blueprint that you can download right now. Though, if you want to save time, if you want to start saving today and start making money, passive income with your high-yield savings account and a trustworthy organization, then check the link in the description. So when it comes to the APY for American Express, currently is at 4.25%. Now, in the world of high-yield savings accounts, this interest rate is not bad, but it's also not the best one out there. Now, if you're wondering, okay, that's great. So how often is the interest paid when it comes to a high-yield savings account with American Express? Now, most high-yield savings accounts out there, they compound the interest daily and it gets paid out monthly. This means that at the end of the month, you will get a payment on your statement, and that is going to be your passive income. That is going to be your interest. Now, when it comes to bonus for new high-yield savings account clients, American Express currently does not offer any new bonuses, at least that I'm personally aware of based on the research that I've done. Sometimes what these organizations do, they open a closed circle or a pilot program where they offer specific clients a little bonus for referring other people. So sometimes they have these offers to certain customers, but generally speaking, available to the public, American Express does not offer this feature right now. And that's okay. Personally, I believe a bonus is useful, it's helpful, but it's not a deal breaker at the end of the day, in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes to fees, the American Express is completely free. They do not have monthly fees. They do not have any type of maintenance fees. And of course, that is a perk and a huge advantage in my personal opinion, because there are some accounts out there that not only give you a very crappy APY or interest rate, they also charge you $5 per month to use your savings account, something a high yield savings account. So we got to watch out for those, because that ends up eating up on our savings and earnings. So if you're wondering, okay, so how much money would I get at the end of the year? So here I have an estimate for you. And assuming that you deposit $10,000 in your savings account and the interest rate right now is 4.25%. Now, if you know a little bit about high yield savings accounts, and if you don't, that's okay. The high yield savings account interest rate vary depending on what the Federal Reserve is doing. If the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates, then most likely banks are going to be offering high yield savings accounts interest rates that are a little higher. If the Federal Reserve starts lowering interest rates, then the high yield savings accounts interest, it's going to follow along, generally speaking. So with this being said, if you deposit $10,000 in your American Express high yield savings account and you have a APY or interest rate of 4.25%, then at the end of the year, approximately you would get $425 of passive income. That being said, we're going to go a little deeper into more requirements of this high yield savings account for American Express. They also have no minimum deposit required of $0. There are some organizations out there that require you to have $1,000, $5,000 in order for you to qualify for a certain APY. So the fact that American Express allows you to have a high APY of 4.25% with technically $1, you can start getting that interest rate. For me, it's perk and it's a good thing. Also, when it comes to something that we need to be aware of, we have to be very, very skeptical about organizations that do not have FDIC insurance or NCUA insurance of at least $250,000. Now, American Express does have FDIC insurance, and there is a way that you can, quote-unquote, increase your FDIC insurance if you add beneficiaries to your high-yield savings account. Also, if you have joint owners to your high-yield savings account. And I go over all of these details in the step-by-step guide that you can access in the link in the description. Now, when it comes to transferring money in and out of your high-yield savings account for American Express, it takes approximately 1 to 2 business days. Now, one of the things that I've personally seen here after researching these accounts for a while now, generally speaking, they take 1 to 3 business days, and that's pretty standard. Some organizations take a couple of hours, as it is the case for Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Others take up to 4 business days, as it is the case for Discover. So this is a pro or a con depending on your level of patience and how often you want access to your money. When it comes to ways to make a deposit into your high-yield savings account, American Express allows you to do the regular standard bank transfer, direct deposit, e-check, or mobile deposit, which is very convenient, by the way. I would love my current organization to offer mobile deposits, but it's not a deal breaker in my personal opinion, so that's okay. They also allow you to mail checks. If you're still writing checks and that's just the way you want to bank, then, of course, they have that option. Speaking of access, another important parameter to understand is the withdrawal frequency limit. Some banks out there give you a limit of 6, sometimes 10, and sometimes some banks lock you out of your account if you try to withdraw more than a certain amount, more than their allowable limits on their high-yield savings account. So American Express, for instance, they give you a limit of 6, but this limit may not be being enforced, and this was based on a regulation that was suspended back in 2020 by the Federal Reserve. So now it's up to banks to determine how many times they allow you to take money out of your high-yield savings account. So they do this in an effort just so that you don't use it as a checking account. If you want to make a bunch of transactions and just use it as your main banking, they suggest that you also open a checking account so that way you have no restrictions whatsoever and you can just use it as you wish. So going deeper into accessing your money, American Express offers a regular mobile ATM if you do have a checking account, and of course, you can access your account online. And they also offer human customer service, which to me is a big deal. I don't like to talk to robots. I know that artificial intelligence is going crazy nowadays, so there's a lot of these organizations implementing this technology. But the fact that American Express still offers human customer service and I have the access to talk to someone whenever something goes wrong, which I've done plenty of times in the past, by the way, then it's a good thing in my personal opinion. All right, so when it comes to average review score from other websites, if you're wondering, hey, what is NerdWallet saying? What is Bankrate saying? NerdWallet categorizes American Express and gives it a 4.5% for savings, and Bankrate gives it a 4.3% for savings. And when it comes to being an established brand, of course, American Express has been around for a while. It was founded back in 1850 in Buffalo, New York. And of course, American Express is known for their premium credit cards, which have a ton of benefits. Okay, so if you are a parent, if you're planning for the future, or you are someone that wants to add beneficiaries to your high-yield savings account, this is important to understand and know because, hey, how many beneficiaries can you add to your AMEX account in your high-yield savings? So this is a quote from the website, from the FDIC website, and also from American Express. And an FDIC change effective April 1st, 2024 for trust deposits, including payable debt accounts, provides a maximum coverage of $1.25 million per owner, up to 5 beneficiaries per account. You can calculate how adding beneficiaries to your deposit accounts and having accounts in different ownership categories will affect your FDIC coverage by visiting the FDIC's website. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but what is a trust account? What is a trust deposit and how is it relevant to high-yield savings account? And a trust deposit is when money is put into a special bank account that's managed by a trustee for the benefit of someone else. Maybe it is a child or a relative, and it's related to high-yield savings accounts because you can set up a trust deposit in a high-yield savings account to earn more interest on the money. Now, here's the kicker. As long as the bank is FDIC insured, which American Express is, the trust deposit is protected by the FDIC insurance, which means your money is safe up to $250,000 per beneficiary. That could be up to $1.25 million, up to 5 beneficiaries. So this is important information to understand in case you are looking to plan for the future and do some of the financial planning if you are a parent or if you're part of the family. Now, how long will high yield savings rates stay this high? This is a question that I get a lot on my Instagram. And so high yield savings accounts are influenced by the Federal Reserve's interest rate, as I mentioned previously, and the overall economic conditions. So when the Fed raises rates to control inflation, the banks often increase savings rates. So as long as the Fed keeps those interest rates high, then the high yield savings account interest rate will remain high as well. Of course, recently the Fed said that there will be one cut this year. Who knows what's going to happen? No one knows what the future is going to hold for us. But for now, at least, it's a good opportunity to start using these high yield savings accounts to start making passive income and make the most out of our hard-earned money. Overall, what are the pros and cons of the American Express high yield savings account? Now, from my personal observation, I can understand and see that it's established brand. Of course, it's been around for a while. It's gotten through a lot of recessions. It's got competitive APY of 4.25%. It's not the highest one out there, but it's certainly helpful to have it that very much competitive. And also, it's got zero monthly fees, no minimum deposit, and needless to say, it is FDIC insured. Now, it's also, on the other side, it also has a couple of cons, which means that the APY, although it's good, it's kind of low if you compare it to other online high-yield savings account competitors, and there's also no new account bonus. Now, these pros and cons are going to be pros and cons depending on what you are looking for. If you are okay with this 4.25%, which is a good one, by the way, then hey, it's not a con, right? It is what it is, and then you like it. And if you are wondering, okay, would I recommend this account to my mom? And is American Express for me or for you? Well, if my mom was looking for a high-yield savings account now, I would definitely recommend AMEX. If, of course, she's familiar with it, if she's seen it before, she knows that she can trust American Express. Also, if she already has American Express products, like maybe she has credit cards and she's familiar with their credit cards and the point system, and she wants to keep everything in one place, then American Express high-yield savings account would be a great option for her. Also, because it's got the decent interest and my mom is interested, hey, I value more comfort and trust and not so much the interest. The interest rate is good as long as it gives me a relatively good interest rate. Then I don't mind it being a little low. If she's okay with that, then hey, all good to go there. And of course, also if no wants to know checks, because that's a feature that American Express offers. I was talking to a friend a little while ago, and I shared this in one of my last videos, and he was saying that he started making with Discover. And we started talking about high yield savings accounts, and I told him, oh, but Discover doesn't have the highest interest out there, I would like to know why you chose it. And he told me, for me, it's very simple. It's not about that high interest. For me, I already have Discover products, and I've used Discover for a while, so it was just no-brainer to just open a high-yield savings account with them. So I was like, okay, good, that's great, So it's not, as I mentioned previously, this concerns what I was thinking on my own and what I felt as well, that it's not all about the interest rate. However, if my mom is looking to maximize her savings with the highest APY available out there, she wants to be a little riskier, even bank with organizations that she's not quite familiar with. If there are other competitors with similar features and higher APY out there, but of course, without the brand. So does American Express speak to you? If it does, let me know in the comments. I would love to know. If you're still confused and you don't know which high-yield savings account to pick and select for yourself, check the link in the description for the blueprint to high-yield savings accounts, a step-by-step guide in helping you find an organization that fits your needs so you can start saving, stop worrying, and start making passive income today.